What's up, everybody? This is Dwayne Roberts here with Marketing and Conversion. And today we're going to be discussing something about using brand exposure in order to close more transactions. And somehow I'm unable, there it is, I'm going to share my screen. All right. Fantastic. All right, we're going to wait for a few minutes for people to get in here, and we're going to get rolling. So if you're just now attending or tuning in, go ahead and let me know where you're from and the market that you represent, what company you're with. Love to know where you guys are tuning in from. All right, guys, it is 6:01. And we're going to be getting going here around 6:05, getting a few more people opportunity to get in on this live. So if you are just now joining us, let me know where you're calling from. Robbie's coming in from Coldwell Banker in Georgia. TJ's in the house from Denver, Colorado, Exit Realty. Welcome to tonight's call, guys. Got you, Ravi, Coldwell Banker. Great company. All right, guys, just a few more minutes here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I know a lot of people said that they wanted the replay. Got a lot of agents in the Texas area that are still struggling with the problems they're having. So keep them in your prayers. It's been a rough week for those guys. All right, guys, just a couple more minutes here. We're going to get started. Today, we're going to talk about using brand exposure and why it's important to be able to convert more internet leads. Now, if you're just now tuning in and you do not have a copy of our book, Lead Conversion Secrets, just put in the comments free book. I'll get you guys the link to be able to get your copy of the book. All it has is that you cover shipping and handling. It's called Lead Conversion Secrets. Happy to give you guys a copy of that. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is brand exposure and why it's so important that buyer and sellers have already chosen that they want to work with you opposed to you chasing them down for business. It's a huge difference. All right. So one of the things that you want to do is you have to look different, you have to act different, and you have to be different than other agents in order to get something different. Let me give you a perfect example. Okay. So if a buyer is serious, like they're shopping for property, where do they go? They go to Zillow and they go to Realtor.com. And when they're at Zillow and they're at Realtor.com, every time they go see a house, they get popped for their contact information. And then that lead is then given to 2 to 3 different agents simultaneously. So if a buyer goes online, looks at property, 10 homes, then the potential really exists that they can have 30 agents chasing them down. So what do you think the very first words out of their mouth is going to be when you contact them with the same old approach that every other agent is saying? So if you guys have worked leads in the past, you let me know. What is the natural response for someone to say when you first call them on the phone? Are they going to say, "Thank you, TJ, for calling me. I've been waiting for your call all day. I'm glad there's a real estate agent in town that's licensed because I'm going to use you"? Or are they going to say something else? Now, we don't have too many on the live tonight, but for those that are on the live or even the replay, put down in the comments below what you think the average person is going to say. The average person is going to say not interested or just curious. But that's not true. You see, leads only fall into two categories. Category number one, they watch way too much HGTV. Or category number two, something is either happening now or in their future that has them looking into their options. It's your job as an agent to figure out if they are in bucket number one or if they're going to default to bucket number two. Why this is so darn important is so you don't get pigeonholed on the leads. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? So you have to have a system, you have to have a process to work the leads as they come through. That way, they're just going down a conveyor belt. Now, every agent is going to say basically the same types of things. Hi, my name is Dwayne Roberts. I'm with XYZ Real Estate Company, and you are on a website, you're looking at properties, you expressed an interest in real estate, love to send you a customized list of homes, blah, 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 blah. And that gets filtered because that's what every other agent is doing. So you have to look different, be different, and do something different in order to get something different. That's the only way that you can get ahead. Let me get to where I need to go here on this presentation. All right. So I think I'm on the right screen now. Let me wait for my everything to catch up here on Facebook. We got a lacking connection today. It's important to be able to convert more. Okay, we're on the right page. So you've got to look different, act different, and overall just be different in order to get a different result. So if the crowd is going one direction, I need you to go the opposite direction, okay? So here's an example of what we were able to do with one of our students, okay? So you have to set up what I call a Facebook profile funnel. And what a Facebook profile funnel is, it's a way for people to take that second step date with you, okay? The first is you have to come out with the right verbiage and sound different than everybody else. So when they actually make it to your page, your Facebook page, they're going to see an option to click the link below to get a free report. And then when they do that, a bot's going to kick in and it's going to give them the report. Listen, there's only two things that anyone has to master in order to literally crush this business, right? The first one is how to attract buyer and seller leads. And the second one is how to convert buyer and seller leads. Everything else, it's just 100% paperwork. Now, what you have to do is you actually have to date your prospects. Now, I'm going to pause here real quick. Who has heard about this before? Who has heard the concept of dating your prospects and why that is so critically important? Let me ask you a question, especially for the women that are on the call right now. If you were on a first date and this was your date and this guy got down on one knee and asked you to marry him, would you have said yes? First date, would you have said yes? Let me get in the comments right now if you think I have totally lost my mind or how you would have responded. And for that matter, guys, too, you went out on a date with one girl one time and she says, oh my gosh, would you marry me? Would you say yes? Christina said nope. Robbie said nope. Most people are going to say no, they wouldn't do that. So let me ask you a question. Why do you think people do business with people? People do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. Bottom line, they know, like, and trust you. But you're never going to get into a position for them to know, like, or trust you with electronic communication. Let me explain what the average agent thinks this business is going to be like when they get involved and why there's such a high failure rate. They want to get a lead, and they want to send the lead a text message and an email, maybe a couple times if they're lucky. And then they want someone to respond instantly after sending the email, the text messages, and then they want the person to sign a contract, whether that be a buyer's agency agreement or they want that person to be an exclusive listing agreement. But listen, that's just 100% unrealistic, right? But then why do agents think that an electronic means of communication develops a relationship? Okay. You're not going to marry somebody off of a dating app before you meet them, and you're not going to do business with someone before you actually meet them. Okay. So here's my point. The internet is nothing more than a tool to be able to get a buyer or a seller to raise their hand to say, hey, I might be interested in doing something. It's up to you and your conversion after that to take it to the next level. And that all comes with dating your prospects. It all comes with the way your brand comes across online, and if they have already chosen to work with you before you even have the conversation. Okay. So step number one, you just have to have the right pickup line. Now, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. You don't want to sound like all these other agents going blah, 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 blah. You got to do something different to get something different. Okay. Remember, if the crowd's going one way, you need to go the opposite direction. Okay. So, step number two is you've got to create curiosity. Okay. Now, when it comes to that opening line, those are things that we talk about to some of our advanced students in our coaching program. So if you're having a hard time right now getting buyers past the not interested or past the just curious phase, love to have a 15-minute conversation with you so we can tell you how we're helping agents 2x, 5x, so sometimes even 10x their business. So if you're watching this right now, and you think that you would want to take your career to the next level, you're ready to take that next step, then I'm going to invite you to book a 15-minute call with my team. This is not a sales call. This is an opportunity for me to get to know a little bit about you, what's worked, what hasn't, so we can make recommendations. Now, in full disclosure, if we feel that we can help you, we'll let you know what it looks like to become an advanced coaching student if that's what you want to do. But step number two is always to create curiosity. All right. So you're going to do that by ethically stalking them online. What do I mean by that? Well, when you go to Facebook, you can find out a lot of information. In this case, I was able to find out that this lead studied at Ashford University and was in Houston. It was a travel agency and went to high school in Clean. Then I also saw these cute little adorable baby girls all over her Facebook wall. All I'm looking for is I'm looking for common ground to start a conversation that's going to get this person talking. So rather than sounding like every other agent, I'm going to remember that people do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. All right. So I've gathered that information. I see these cute little grandkids. And rather than doing that same old openers, try this on for size. Like, hey, Michelle, I see that you went to Ashford University in 2012. Go Dogs. I see you're conservative. If applicable, your granddaughters are so cute, ... Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think is going through Michelle's mind right now? if she got a random message from a guy like this, there's only one thing that's going through her mind. Besides the fact that I may have creeped her out, put in the comments right now what you think is going through her mind. If you're on the live or even the replay, I'd love to see your answers. Go ahead and put in the comments what you think is going through this lead's mind right now if they got a Facebook message that sounded something like this. See, it's very natural for them to go, do I know this person? And by the way, how do I know it was the dogs? I just Googled it, looking for a common ground to have a conversation. But in the back of Michelle's mind, she's thinking, excuse me? Do I know you? When she sees that, the next thing that she's going to do, she's going to click on your profile because she's going to try to figure out who you are. And when she's there, she's going to see that she can get a free report, and she's going to see a link to actually get the report. Then the report's going to download, and then you're going to have a bot kick in. The bot's going to gather information that you would normally gather yourself once you've got the lead on the phone. When they're looking to do something, price range they're going to be in, if they spoke to a loan officer, if they would like to speak to a loan officer, how much they're currently paying in rent, if it's a first-time home buyer, et cetera, et cetera. This thing's working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So while you're at family events, you're out on vacation, this thing is working for you in the background like your personal assistant that you never have to pay any payroll. Why? Because no one likes to chase down leads. Like our average student gets 75 to 100 leads a week for free without spending $1 in advertising. But here's the truth. No one wants to think about calling 75 to 100 people a week. So the bot filters who you should be calling and focusing your energy on. So if you get 75 leads and 5 of those leads interacted with the bot, got to the very end, and then did something magic, which is a drum roll, they jumped on your calendar. All right. So look, I woke up this morning, I looked at my schedule, and I had 7 real estate agents to talk to. I never had a single conversation with none of those guys. That wasn't by mistake, that was by design. So let me ask you, how would your life be different if you woke up every single day, you looked at your calendar, and voila, you have buyer and sellers on your calendar to have a conversation? Do you think life would be a little different? Yeah, for most people, if your calendar was full and you're just having constant conversations about real estate, it is a 100% game changer, right? So that's what we focus in on here at Marketing and Conversion. We focus our energy on getting buyer and sellers wanting to engage to use you. There are frameworks, there are systems, there are processes. So if you're watching this right now and a lot of this is foreign to you, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I need something like this in my business. I need something that's going to have a constant stream of buyer and sellers coming into the pipeline. And I would love to learn how to convert them into paying clients. Then I want you in the comments right now, just type the word increase. That is a cue for my team to be able to reach out, answer any questions that you have, be able to have a real conversation with you about what's working now, what's not working, and see if we have something to help you get to that next level. Now, for the any potential existing students that are in the program right now, go ahead and put in the comments right now how you're enjoying it, what you're gaining from the system, if you've got any leads so far, how many you've got over to a loan officer. I'd be curious to know because I see several students that are tuning into this particular live. So give me some feedback on there. That would be amazing. because there's only two things that anyone has to learn to do to crush this business. Number one, they have to learn how to attract buyer and seller leads. And number two, they have to learn how to convert buyer and seller leads. And let's face it, when you're getting leads from like realtor.com and Zillow, then those are extremely expensive. Not to mention the fact that they're given to multiple agents at the same time. So when you put your brand exposure out there, okay, then people are going to Google you and they're going to make a decision that they want to do business with you before you even pick up the phone. That's how you have to look different, be different, and act different. So if you're waking up in the morning and you're don't have people to talk to about buying or selling real estate, whether that's in person or over the phone, then you've already failed for the day. Sorry, just spitting truth. So you've got to have systems and processes in place. According to the National Association of Realtors, 85% of agents are going to retire their license within the first 18 months. That is a very scary statistic. And you know the number one reason why? The number one reason why is because no one taught them how to lead gen. Because real estate school, let's talk about that for a second. Does real estate school properly prepare you on how to do this business? Put in the comments right now if you think real estate school prepared you to do this business, or did it just prepare you enough to pass the test? I'm sure we're both going to agree that it did nothing more than help prepare you to pass the test. And that's why you have to have someone help you get to the next level or figure it out yourself. I tell my students all the time, if you've been following me for a while and you haven't taken that step, there is absolutely that I or my wife can teach you that you cannot learn on your own. That's just the truth. The question is how long is it going to take you to learn it? For us, it took about 3 solid years and over $100,000 in wasted experiments to see what was going to work and what doesn't work. So wouldn't it be nice just to get into a system that is 100% just done for you, given to you on a complete silver platter? We're talking about buyer leads, seller leads, for sale by owners, withdrawals, expires, people going through a divorce, people looking to upsize, people looking to downsize, and exact scripting to use with check by check checklist that shows you exactly how to do this business. So Ravi just said, pass the test. That's right. It's just designed to help you pass a test. Let your broker keep you out of legal trouble. Let me show you how to market. So that's what marketing and conversion is all about. So remember, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a short lesson today, but remember, you have to have your brand looking good online. We're talking about PDFs, downloadable reports. Look, sound, and act different than the average agent. And whatever you do, make sure that your Facebook profile is professional, that you're not up in the club dancing and stuff. Believe it or not, I did have a student that was doing that. She had a poor conversion problem. And I looked at her Facebook profile and literally she's up in the club like this right here. And you both know where I'm about to go with that, right? So listen, you got to keep it real on Facebook, okay? So if you don't want the world to know, don't put it on Facebook. So I promise you, studies have shown that 97% of people will Google you to find out what they can find out about you, you know, and you don't want that to be in your business, all right? So you want to have a mixture of post on your wall. So you want to mix it up between business and personal and relationship. So don't have it be 100% all business either, because that's not going to do any good as well. So you kind of want to mix that up a little bit. So you want to get brand exposure on companies like NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox. We actually can show our students how to do that with step-by-step approach. So that way you're just looking a lot better than the other agent. And then people will take that next step and they will jump on your calendar, right? So if you think that waking up every single morning and having new people on your calendar will help you in your business, And then if you're live or watching the replay, send me a private message or type the word increase down below. Love to have a 15-minute non-sales conversation with you to see what we might be able to do to help you get to that next level, guys. Right. So as always, we do these live trainings every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I believe next week we're going to have a guest speaker, or my wife will be handling the reins then. So for the remainder of this week, guys, remember, the only two things that you have to learn to crush the business is how to get leads and how to convert them. And I'm here to help you every step of the way. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week.